Hey everybody, I'm here to just tell you guys a reminder and kind of explain a little bit about your country project that you guys will be doing. You ninth graders, it is mandatory. 8th graders, it is extra credit. If you're looking for a way to boost your grade, there's a perfect way. I'm going to count it for a large portion of your grade. You can bring your grade up significantly with it. And I'm also going to be fairly easy grader as long as you fulfill all the requirements. So let's look here. You're essentially going to be typing a 4-page research paper, as you see here. I also want a works cited. You don't have to be crazy detailed on the works cited. I'm not going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. I just want to kind of know where you got your sources from. Excuse me. The 4 pages do have to be 4 pages. I don't want 3 pages and like a little sentence on the other one. It should take up almost all of the 4th page at the very least. So make sure, if you're not sure, just add an extra paragraph. On your research paper, I always want an introduction that kind of introduces me to things and helps me get an interesting introduction there. And I also want a conclusion. I want it to be interesting. I hate introductory paragraphs that are like, would you ever like to learn about India? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's boring, okay? And conclusion paragraphs that say, in summary, India is this, India is that, India is that, and just like list out things that you already talked about. I'm fine with you guys going over things you already talked about in your conclusion, but do it in your own voice. Don't just list things out. Do it in your own voice, talking about, if you're talking about America, which you're not allowed to pick America, but you could say something like, in conclusion, America, a country that is a little over 200 years old, is still changing and ever evolving into the current climate, and has strayed far from its original roots, but still tries to retain as much of that original founding principles as they can, or whatever, whatever your take is, and it's your opinion. I'm fine with your opinion in the conclusion. Okay, that's introduction and conclusion. I also want a title page before any of it. Just make it look cool. Use a funny font, whatever you want. It should say some kind, not some kid. And make it cool looking. You can do colors or whatever. Oh, I am going to have you guys do it on Google Docs because I'm not going to be here when it's due. It's going to be due on the 14th. And I don't think I'm going to be in school for the 14th. Although maybe I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to be out of school for a little while, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be back. But I'm probably going to have you guys send it to me on Google Docs. Unfortunately, I'd rather just have it in paper. But if I'm not going to be in school, then I'd have no way to get it. So if I'm for some reason going to be in school, I would rather actually get the paper. So title page, just India or China or whatever your country is, and then name, teacher, class, date on the bottom or on the top or something. Then you have your research paper. Now all this stuff in the research paper is optional. Okay, you don't have to have every single part of this stuff, because then you'd have a paper that's like 70 pages long. That's not what I'm looking for. I want you to talk about interesting things. Okay, everyone should be able to talk a little bit about geography and climate. Everybody should be able to do that. You can find, because it matters. That's like, is it a more of a cold winter tundra type place? Is it mountainous? Does it have a lot of rivers? What are the most important geographical features? Is it on the water? Is it inland? Stuff like that. But stuff like this, like animal life. Excuse me. I'm sure that's quite annoying. I apologize. Animal life. That's only if there's something like interesting about it. If they have squirrels and deer, I don't want to hear about the animal life. Okay, I want to see interest things. Early inhabitants. Be careful on this one. If they start talking about like cavemen and stuff, I don't want any of that. I'm just knowing, like, for instance, if you were doing a report on New England and you want to talk about like the Narragansett tribe of Indians, That's fine. That's the type of stuff that's fine. Or Australia with Aboriginals and stuff like that. That's fine. But I don't want you going back to like places talking about cavemen and stuff like that because that's all unreliable and I don't want any of that stuff. Famous leaders. You should be able to find out if there's any famous leaders. Specifically who we talk about. Major wars or revolutions. There's probably a good amount of these ones. Were they heavily involved in World War II, World War I, something like that? What is their most famous war? You don't have to talk about every single war they've been involved in, but is there like, for America, you might talk about American Revolution, Civil War, World War I, World War II, kind of in one paragraph or something? Did they have like huge government changes here? Government. This is interesting. Country's official name. This could be somewhere earlier in the paper. You don't have to go by this format either. You don't have to go in this order. You can switch it up however you want. A lot of countries have differing names. Like we would call Spain, but they would call it España, right? So does a country have a different name? Almost every country has a different name than what we call it. That's a good thing to throw in there. But and this is also an important one. Type of government. I think everybody should be able to have the type of government in there. Are they communist government? Are they a republic? How do they elect their officials? Do they have like a legislative branch that's a one house, or is it two houses like we have here in America with a Senate and House of Reps? Is it three houses? There's a lot of different things. Like, you know, you can kind of talk about that. Current world government leader, Angela Merkel in Germany or whatever. You don't have to have all of these things, but again, just kind of talk about it. Some places have a special building where government stuff happens. Like you might have the Kremlin or the Capitol building or, you know, Parliament, something like that. Now, people, this is a good one to kind of just summarize here as one paragraph, two paragraphs, whatever. Talk about the people there. Like, what is the population? Is it a huge amount of people? Is it like third in the world for population? Is it second in the world population? Is it 100th or whatever? Is it very small? If it's like 100th population, I don't need you to get the actual number. You just can be like, it's a small one. Maybe relate the population to one of the states in the United States. Maybe that's maybe that would be easy to do. It's an easy thing to look up. What languages they speak there. A lot of times they might have an official language. They might not have an official language. America does not have an official language. Even though most people speak English, it is not actually an official language. We have English speakers, and then the second most are Spanish and sorry, got a text message coming through. Spanish and French and Chinese, and we have different customs that they have. Again, this is another one. In clothing and customs and foods, don't talk about it if it's the same as what we have here. I want to know things that are interesting and different. Do they eat something that we think is like really gross? Like, do they eat, I don't know, do they eat alligator brains or something? Is it something that we would go like, oh, that's crazy? Or clothing, is a clothing different? You might talk about a sari in India or a kimono in Japan. But if they wear like long sleeve shirt and jeans or something, don't waste your time. Holidays and customs, if they celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving, don't even waste your time on it. If they have different holidays that you've never even heard here, then you can talk about those. And then we have the conclusion. In the conclusion as well, you can talk about what you think of the country. Is it really interesting? Do you like it? Would you like to visit the place? Do you enjoy learning about it? Stuff like that. There's tons of stuff you can put in the conclusion. You can use Purdue OWL here. It's a website, literally just list out Purdue OWL. And they have on there, they have like APA format, Chicago format, MLA format, and they even list it. APA for books, for websites, or whatever. Use MLA format for whatever they say for MLA format for websites, because I'm assuming most people are using websites. I don't like EasyBib. I do not like it because I think it misses a lot of stuff. But try to find the stuff yourself. Do not use EasyBib. It misses a lot of things. And also list out your sources in alphabetical order. All right, these are your artistic things. I would like you to recreate their flag. You can use any medium you want. Markers, pens, paint, colored pencils, whatever. I do want you to bring that in, and I'll have whoever's in my class on the 14th, if I'm not there, collect those and kind of put them aside. Make sure your name's on the back. just so I don't lose whose is whose. I don't want you to have a printed flag. Like, don't just go and find a flag and print it out. I want you to actually design it. Like, use a ruler and markers or colored pencils or something like that. If you want to do something a little bit more like you want to make a, what's it called? Mosaic or something with like all these different cut papers and stuff, that's fine. I don't want you to, if it's a country like Ireland that has 3 stripes, I don't want you to just cut out 3 pieces of construction paper and go, there you go. But although, I'm almost fine with that too. But recreate your flag. Again, some of you will be nervous and be like, I'm such a bad artist. That's fine. It's part of the fun. If you're a bad artist, it's okay. We can laugh at it a little bit. It's fine. No, but just do your best. I don't care if it doesn't look very good. I just want you to do it and do your best. And then recreate a map of the country. I want you to basically take a piece of paper. Again, these are both like at least 8 by 11. If you want to use something big, like a huge poster board, and make your big map on that, I guess you can. That's fine. But all I need is like an 8 by 11 piece of paper. I don't want something like this small, but at least 8 by 11, a normal 8.5 by 11, a normal size piece of paper on its side, like a hamburger. And recreate a map of the country. You take up most of the page, just draw it. You can, I'll let you kind of trace the outline of the country if you want. I'd rather you didn't. I'd rather you do it freehand and just do your best. But I'm so sorry. I'm a little sick right now. And so recreate the map of the country. Like, you get the outline, and then you can put on there like mountain ranges, rivers, lakes. Draw them in the best you can. Any important land features, if there's any islands off to the side, and then you can just kind of label the top right corner or top bottom left or wherever. Just put what country it is and your name on the back, and then just do that. So that's a summary of what you have to do. You guys all should be working on it. Hopefully you worked on it over Christmas break. It's probably going to be a lot to do this week, but, well, you're home, so do your best. Hopefully everybody has a piece of paper at home that they can do it with. Again, do not just print it out. I'm not going to be happy with that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me about it. This should not be a stressful thing. I want you to enjoy doing this as much as you can enjoy a project like this. I know it's like, enjoy it, it's homework, it's a project, I don't want... No, I know you can't really enjoy a lot of things projects that you're working on, but have fun with it as much as you can with schoolwork. Look things up. Think about what you think is interesting. Later on in life, you'll be knowing a lot about, the Czech Republic or something, and be like, meet somebody, be like, oh, I did a research paper on the Czech Republic. You guys have this, right? And they'll be, oh yeah. I've met people before and have been like, where are you from? And they'll be like, oh, I'm from Albania. And be like, oh, okay, I know that. What about this? And what's the government there like there? And they actually like light up. They're like, oh, you know a little bit about my country, even if it's just a little bit. So have fun with this as much as you can. Find interesting stuff. I'm not going to be really nitpicking on a lot of things if you show effort. If you don't show effort, I'm going to start nitpicking it and I'm going to just fail it. Okay? Show me effort. Do your best and it will be good. All right? See you guys later.